when you can focus on how to change the trajectory of a whole family's life for generations to go, I mean, that is what you study boards for. That is why you show up. That is why you are here, why you are, let's be honest, getting all those loans. Like, that is the reason that you keep going further. And so truly, students, like, keep going, push it, push that envelope of what you think you can do in school, because I promise you, you can do a lot more.
All right, chiropractors and chiropractic students, welcome to the Family Practice Podcast. You know, the one you've been waiting way too long for, because this podcast will actually stay focused on chiropractic. Not only what it takes to get world-class clinical results for kids and families in your community, but also what it takes to build a legendary, incredible family practice that takes care of your family way beyond your dreams. I'm Dr. Tony Ebel, and I'll be joined by Dr. Matt Hill, Dr. Ellie Wright, Jackie Jakubowicz, and incredible guests, Chiros, associates, CAs, all these folks making massive impact around the world. We're going to cover everything: pediatric, perinatal, family practice. This is the podcast you've been waiting for, because moms and dads and families have always needed us. Now they're finally ready for us. I hope you're ready for the Family Practice Podcast. Let's go.
All right, fam, we've got an absolutely powerhouse episode for you today. One of our very own PX leaders, a Club PX queen, a true star in pediatric and family chiropractic, Dr. Nikki. Dr. Nikki Coburn was born and raised in Farmington, New Mexico, where her passion for working with kids first began. But like so many of us, her real chiropractic story actually started with pain and turned into something way deeper. What began as care for back pain in high school led to something absolutely life-changing: the resolution of long-standing hormonal issues and chronic health issues that she had never been told real answers for. It was under consistent, neurologically focused chiropractic care that her health finally turned a corner, and so did her purpose. It was that experience that set her absolutely ablaze to learn everything she could about the nervous system and chiropractic, especially after she learned from her own incredible mom how her childhood struggles with her health negatively impacted her mom. After college and a whole lot of prayer, she made the big move to Georgia to attend Life University. And while she not only led Club PX on campus, she also helped grow it. She mentored other students, and she ignited a passion for pediatric and prenatal care for future chiropractors all across the country. Dr. Nikki also interned at the legendary Perfect Storm headquarters, PWC Chiropractic, with Dr. Tony and the team in Illinois. And today, she's come full circle. She is serving as an associate doctor at Perfect by Design Chiropractic in Georgia and leading Club PX nationwide as our official Club PX manager. She's a PX certified, Webster certified, a birth fit coach, and an absolute rock star serving mamas and littles. When she's not on campus or in the office, she's helping students level up. You'll find her adventuring with her husband, who's also a chiropractor, hiking, watching movies, or catching a game. Dr. Nikki, y'all, she is the real deal. And today she's bringing her story, her heart for students, the powerful dynamic of her mom and her own health challenges that set her off on this journey. You guys, her wisdom for serving families at the highest level is something that you absolutely want to tap into. Let's get into it. Hello, and welcome back to the Family Practice Podcast. I'm your host, Jackie Jakubowicz, and gosh, we are in for an absolute treat today. I am so excited. I know that our time together today is going to be so powerful and so inspiring for you, and that is because we have Dr. Nikki Coburn joining us today, and she is absolutely near and dear to our hearts in so many ways. Dr. Nikki, in her excellence, is going to show us the blueprint to go from being a student to being an on-fire pediatric PX doc. And man, you are absolutely in for a treat today. So thank you so much for joining us, Dr. Nikki. We appreciate you, and we appreciate you taking your time to pour into our community and connect with us today.
Well, thank you for having me. I just, PX is such a joy and a passion of mine, and I'm just so thrilled to be here and just, share our story, but also help others to do the same thing and live this amazing life that God has really set forth on us. And it's been really great. So thank you.
Oh, I love that. And, really, Something that has always impressed me so much about you is that you are so passionate about supporting parents and supporting families and helping them to be educated and to be empowered and to just thrive through the work that we do. Obviously, completely mission aligned on neurologically focused pediatric specific care, but then also incredibly aligned when it comes to inspiring, educating, and leading students as well. So what a dynamic duo you are there, Dr. Nikki. Let's jump right in to your intro and learning more about you. I would love to just first start with learning more about your background, most specifically, who is Dr. Nikki, right? So tell us a little bit about your background. I would love to know more about where you're located and practicing, and then lead us into helping me understand more about what led you to chiropractic in the first place.
Well, it's such a fun story. I mean, truly, I feel like God has really throughout my whole life created me to step into this position. And I mean, truly, without him and without his guidance and really placing me in very specific places, I wouldn't be where I am today and have this such fulfilling life and just pure joy. So I practice in Marietta, Georgia. So we're right by Life University. I had no idea when I started school here that I was going to stay in this area. I think that's one of the funny things that God does. If you're like, I'll move home, and then you never do. It's like God has a plan for you, and it's absolutely beautiful. So I practice at Perfect by Design. I'm actually an associate. I celebrated my 2 years at the practice a couple months ago, and it's been absolutely the best thing ever. So we've been here for about, in total 5 years. Took a little hiatus from the South to go up to Crystal Lake, where I did my internship with y'all in PWC.
Yeah.
But growing up, I grew up in a smaller town in Farmington, New Mexico. So really out there.
Covered the globe then. God has put you where he meant for you to be, and now it's in the deep South doing the work of PX and slaying subluxations, and I love that. So what is it in your background that actually led you to this work? How did you get introduced to chiropractic? What about it drew you in? I would love to know more about that.
Yeah, well, I mean, truly from the beginning, my mom has always been such a motivator for me. She and I couldn't really place it once I went to chiropractic school. I don't know why my mom was my motivator, but she was the reason why I wanted to go further and go farther. It wasn't until PX came through that I really had that full picture of why that is and the reason behind it. So, younger growing up, I was the kid that was sick all the time. I had the ear infections. I was a middle schooler where my teachers were like, why are you exhausted all the time? Are you getting sleep? They would ask questions and I'd be like, I get plenty of sleep. I was just flat out exhausted. It wasn't until I started going into high school and then later on in college, I had a ton of hormone issues. My period totally disappeared. I mean, it was a hot mess. And, we went the route that we all knew and thought we trusted. We went down the medical route and I had side effect upon side effect. They put me on birth control where I gained 30 pounds in a summer and was losing chunks of hair and felt zero emotion. And around that time, my back was hurting. Everything was tense and stressed out. So I started going to a chiropractor. And at this point, I was like, I'm going to go to medical school. I'm going to go help people. That's what I wanted.
Yeah.
It was really disheartening to have no answers for what was going on.
Right.
Again,
especially not root cause answers.
Yes. Well, and it made no sense. They're like, here, take this birth control. I'm like, well, why? How is this helping? And they couldn't answer it. And so then, I started going to a chiropractor because my back hurt so bad. And all of a sudden, everything normalized. I stopped taking all the medications.
Yeah.
Hormones came back, period came back. I felt more energy than I ever had before. I felt clearer than I ever had before. I mean, just my life transitioned. And I just kept asking, why? Why was this the thing? Why is this what actually changed everything when the whole world says that's not the case? You have to go the medical route. And so then I just started deep diving. Tony came to talk. And as we all, when Tony talks, lives change. And I remember sitting there And he talked about the perfect storm. And I was the vacuum baby. And I was the colicky baby that my mom was up with, the ear infections. My mom doesn't quite remember this moment, but it was a profound moment in my life. My childhood was sunshine and butterflies. It was the best thing ever. But it wasn't until I was older, she revealed to me, like, she kind of hated our childhood because she was stressed out all the time. She didn't know what to do with us. I mean, we were sick all the time. And I was like, that shook me because it was beautiful for me. Like, I enjoyed it. Like, it was amazing. And to hear that side of it, I was like, this cannot be just the normal for everybody. Like, that she hated it so much. And so I remember sitting there and Tony was talking about the perfect storm. And I felt just so moved that my mom needed this so much more. Our kids are so resilient. They will adapt and they will thrive in whatever case scenario. But that mom gut who is breaking in there, she's why we need this. And so from then on, it was no other option but PX. We have to go moms.
Well, gosh, that's such a powerful statement because what do we know? I mean, we know that when families heal together, the healing for everybody in the family is amplified. You know, we always say, you know, nerves that fire together, wire together. Yes. And guess what? That's the same in the family unit, baby. When mama's healing her nervous system at the same time that the child is healing their nervous system, watch out because you're about to get some dynamic results in that care plan, honey. And that's so powerful because when we think about that, we think about the legacy of that. We think about what does it look like when we heal whole families? What does it look like when parents are not stuck and struggling and suffering in the same ways that their kids once were, right? Like as parents, we get to put our oxygen mask on at the same time or even before we put our children's oxygen mask on. And, you know, being a perfect storm parent myself, I can 100% tell you it deeply affected my nervous system and my neurology to watch my children go through their perfect storm.
Yes.
And looking back on it, I was probably a perfect storm kid myself. I just, you know, masked and adapted and, you know, but I think that's such a powerful thing for us to really highlight the importance of what it looks like for parents to get better right alongside their kids. I absolutely love that.
Well, and just to see moms who are like, you know, they've done all the things and they're just still like, why are we still having these? Like the heart behind it is just,
yes, totally. Because they've done functional med, they're exercising, they've dialed in their diet, they've done all the things that, you know, even within the holistic health space, we are known and taught to do. And even then, they're still not getting those breakthrough outcomes that they're looking for. So at what point was that in your journey then that you heard Dr. Tony speak, you heard about the pediatric experience and then made that decision to get involved with club? At what point in your journey did that happen?
So I went to Life, so we were quarter system. So I was about fifth quarter. So this is like the heavy science portion. Like fifth quarter is known for having the big ortho test. I mean, you are in the thick of it at that point. And it happened so rapidly fast. Like Tony spoke. I knew Dr. Stephanie Mazek. She was actually the one who started Club PX, and I had known her before through other clubs. I was actually one of her patients when she first started, like student clinic. And so I was like, hey, how can I help you? Let me know. Like, if you need anything, setting up, cleaning up, you just let me know. Like, I'm there. And so then she, you know, I kind of went on to leadership with her, started doing that. And then at the same time, I mean, probably like a month or so later, I started working at Perfect by Design as a scan tech. And so it was just like all in, all at once. And I mean, it was great. It was the best thing ever. And so when students say like, we're in the thick of it, like, yeah, I hear you. Like it is a lot to balance it all. But it's like,
oh, I love that. So that to me, I'm like two things on that. I think to myself, okay, yeah, God was coming at you. And also we call that baptism by fire, but in the best of ways, because he was coming at you from every single angle. And he was just making sure that you knew that this was, if you had any questions about if this was where you were meant to go and meant to align yourself, that this was the spot. I love that.
When it was like from the beginning, I knew God was directing me here, but I didn't see it. I didn't see the full, like I had gone to other pediatric clubs. I had dabbled in other things. And it's like every time people would ask, like, how do you see yourself in practice? Like there was such a disconnect. And this was the first time I was like, oh my God, you're right in my face. Like, let's go.
Yes. Oh my gosh. So having that frame of reference, then what would you actually say to a student that is nervous about that is nervous about stepping into a leadership role? Because obviously you were in you were in a leadership role in Club PX, and then, very much a leader as an associate once you graduated and joined your doc team there. You've always had, those roles have always found you, and you've grown in those spaces. So what would you say to a new student that's like, man, that sounds great, but I don't know if I'm built for that? Like, how would you speak life into a person that's in a similar position?
Well, I think it's really important to find where is that nervousness coming from. If it's a nervousness because you don't know if your values align, is different from a nervousness if I can actually fulfill this role and you want to see it really take off. And so I think it's getting really clear on like where God is directing you. Because if God is directing you into that area to really step into leadership, to serve more, then you're going to figure it out. All the things that you have on your to-do list, it's going to get done. It's going to happen because you have that vision and that mission on your side. Nervousness because you want to do great and you want to see a success on the other side, whether it's fulfilling more students, helping them find their path, or reaching out to moms and really stepping into that associate or that ownership position, is a different nervousness than, I don't know about this. It's also different from, I don't know if my time, can really hold this, because we all know life as a student is wild.
Yeah.
But school is such a small season. I cannot tell you, you're there for 3 years. And then, the other half is that internship where you're really diving into a practice. But it's 3 very short, very rapid years. So if you can plug in and you can really go all out 100%, it pays off. Step into that power. Step in, lean into that nervousness, because that means it's important to you. That means it has value, and you need to push that a little bit further.
Yeah. And also that type of stepping in and leaning into the squirm is so important from a growth perspective. Yes, as humans, we are wired for homeostasis. We crave comfort. We crave that protective state, but that is not where the good things grow. The good things grow when we lean into that nervousness and we do it anyway. And I love what you said about, evaluating if your values align or if it's just a time and bandwidth concern, because I think that those are 2 very separate conversations. And when you can really analyze and pick apart what is making me have this nervousness, then you can figure where's an appropriate time to push through it and where's an appropriate time to reevaluate. So talking about, things that students are doing and experiences they're having, you talked, and we have already set the table and tone, that you interned at PWC Chiropractic. So talk to us about that. Talk to us about your time at PWC as an intern. I would love for you to walk us through, what did you expect going in? What surprised you? What delighted you? What challenged you? Talk us through that experience and that time at PWC.
Well, and gosh, to go from talking about growth, you look at school in a whole kind of timeline and you grow like crazy. But that internship, that 6 month, that is rapid growth. That is complete night and day difference. And so, stepping into PWC, to be honest, I wasn't really sure. I was really hoping that everything that I had expected, the miracles, the procedures, the people who are really on fire, that it was real. Truly, because you'll go to other practices and you're like, oh my gosh, you see 2 kids and Grandma Sue the rest of the day, which, we all made up, but you really wanted that dream to come true. And I remember that first week, I was absolutely exhausted with the best way, because you are so impacted. You're like, oh my gosh, this happens. And I had already been in a practice, right? And we were seeing that. But to go to the headquarters, you're like, okay, the people that we are really modeling this from, I just hoped and prayed that they were, really carrying out what they were saying. And I experienced that to the full. Truly, when you see the doctors going knee to knee with families that were going through storms, and we're not just talking a mini rainstorm, full storms of life, and helping them and guiding them into reaching those miracles. It was incredible. I was watching, the most complex of cases that then translated going into practice where, we would have a complex case. And sure, maybe as an intern, I wasn't the one adjusting, but I was watching and I was seeing what they were doing and I was watching how do you actually replicate this? And then you step into that. You're like, I know exactly how to help this. I know exactly what to say in this moment because I've watched it happen. And then, towards the end of that internship, I've actually done it myself too. And so when you can actually see those miracles, it's a night and day game changer.
Absolutely, it is. And really, you couldn't have said it better because after graduation, you went into full PX practice at Dr. John's office. And, you really went right into it, into the miracle making and into slaying those subluxations in that practice. And so I would love for you to walk us through what made you say, yes, this is where I want to be, right? Because in chiropractic, very common that students are, learning and knowing, hey, I do want to associate, or I don't know if associating is going to give me the full opportunity that I'm looking for growth or, whatever the case may be, or I do want to go and I want to open my own practice. So for you, what was it that made you say, yes, this is where I want to be and I want to go all in?
Well, two things. I knew that going into a PX office was a must. I knew, one, that is how you reach miracles and how you actually impact people. And if you're doing a watered down version of PX, you're not reaching that. And so that was a must for me.
Amen. No watering down. We're purists here.
We're here to help these families get through it. And I knew throughout my whole being that this is how that happens. And so I just, one, it had to be a PX office. Two, I had a cheat code. I was already working with Don and Jamie while I was in school. So I knew them. I knew their practice. I knew that they were full PX and I knew that their heart aligned to go and help and serve more families. And so, truly it made it easy in the fact that, one, at the point, my fiance was down here too, but two, I knew that this was the practice that, I could grow into, but also that was serving the way that I knew kids needed to be served by.
Yes. Oh, I love that. So most grads, they take a little time to ramp up, but you did not, not whatsoever. We know your stats, girlfriend. We know how you convert. Okay. So we're just going to call a spade here. What do you think it was that helped you succeed so quickly? Because, for a frame of reference, Dr. Nikki got into practice and she got to a work, right? Because I think it's because you care about it so much and you bring such empathy and such excellence to everything that you do. But it is really impressive for a brand new grad to go into practice and to have the conversion rates that you had right away and still have today and be so adept and so skilled so quickly. So what do you think it was that helped you succeed at the rate that you did?
I really think, but going back to my mom, I saw my mom sitting across from me in every parent consult. I saw the exhaustion coming through these parents. And I knew that, I was nervous about presenting the care plans, but not because of my skill level, but because I knew this is what they needed. And I knew that this is how they were going to get out of that storm. And so it became more of seeing that family and having compassion for them, but not just feeling it, but let's go, let's take action. This is how we are going to get you out of that storm and meeting them where they're at. I've had a fire hose of somebody being subluxation. And it's I don't understand. There's a disconnect. You made it about you. And I don't see how I fit into that. And so I
love that you said that. I love that you said that. This is something we struggle with in chiropractic. Listen, I love salutogenesis just as much as the next guy, but the patients don't care.
No, they don't care about your 5-minute elevator speech if it has nothing to do with them. Your elevator
is completely
you listening to them and then connecting with them. And
absolutely.
That
They
was
want to be partnering with an expert that is going to lead them to their transformation. They want to partner with a professional that they know, number one, understands their story, and number two, is going to give them actual actionable steps to lead them from where they are to where they want to be. And you said that so powerfully. I mean, you said compassion, but then you also said action. I mean, really, what compassion is, it's empathy in action. Yes, you have empathy for them, but empathy without helping them to do something about it means nothing. Like, we don't want to... Yeah, we don't want to turn empathy into sympathy by getting into the pit and wallowing with them. No, we're going to get you out of that pit, honey. Let's lay some civilizations here.
And I'm going to be right along with you to push you out of that. Like, let's go.
Exactly. Yes, I love that. So let's talk about that. What is one thing that you focus on in your communication consistently that helps to build trust and helps to get more yeses from new patients while you're working with them? And even current patients, because we know in chiropractic, we want lifetime care, right? We don't want to just discharge a patient after their initial restoration plan. We want to continue to set goals for them. We want to continue to work towards their ideal health outcome. We want to give them a quality of life that is incredibly robust and health that is just absolutely abounding to no end. And so we need to get a continual yes. It's not just a one-time yes. It's a yes after yes after yes. So what are you doing? Talk us through your process to build trust and then to continue to maintain that trust so patients say yes to care, but they keep saying yes.
Well, I think a lot of it is focus. You know, we are so focused in directing them to helping them with that nervous system. Nobody else does that. And so when you can see where they're at and you can see that struggle and you meet them where they're at, right? If you have a family that's more on that medical side, the last thing you need to do is be talking about, you know, all of our natural country things that we love, but they might not be there yet. And so it's seeing them to where they're at and building a bridge to get there. So, you know, if they're at point A and you want to get them to Z, it's going to take that table talk and that consistency to get them there, but also recognizing and seeing where they're at. I mean, life is hard, like, and especially when your child is struggling, the last thing that you need to do is go through a, 20-minute monologue about everything. Hit their pain points, hit that action that we were talking about, and don't add fluff, shoot it straight, because they will appreciate that so much more. And that's really what builds trust, is when you can say, to the moments where you don't know, I don't know, but I'll find out. Or, when you do know, you step confidently into that, even when it's a hard conversation, even when it's not going to be an easy breezy conversation, it's going to be a little bit more emotional throughout there.
Yeah. That's so powerful, because I think, sometimes in communication in chiropractic, we can feel like we don't want to, say the wrong thing, or I get that. But how powerful is it to strategically and compassionately tell the truth that people need to hear to be able to choose into what they desire happening, right? Yeah. Yes, you are stuck and struggling, and your scans are showing us that you need this robust care plan. Totally get that it might be challenging to get here. Totally get value exchange is something that patients are looking at. Now, first of all, scheduling and value exchange are not something that doctors should worry about at all. Your care advocate team is going to take care of that. And it's not like those objections don't potentially come up with doctors. They absolutely do. And so, as you said and spoken to so eloquently, which I absolutely love, is confidently speaking into their goals, you being the provider that they need to align themselves, and having that certainty that the desired outcome is on the other side of that exchange. Just so good. Yeah. So you're not just practicing in a PX office. You are very much involved with Club PX still, and that is very important with you being on the PX team and you lending your strength and your expertise to the team to help push students forward. Why is that important for you to be able to stay involved in that way? Talk us through that.
Gosh, it's like I have two loves in my life, and it's clubs and students, and it's parents and serving children on that other end. And I think it all boils down to the same reason. It's that aha moment when parents see that, oh my gosh, this is what's going to help my child. And when students see like, oh my gosh, this is one, what's going to get results, but two, incredibly fun and life-giving. And I don't have to, have this life that is just beaten down with associateships or startups that are struggling. Like, you can have this absolutely fulfilling life. And I think it really does kind of mend into both, because I'm one person, I can make a difference and I can hit a radius that is really wide. I mean, we truly don't know what our ripple effect will be like in this life. But when we do it and we couple and we prepare students, that ripple effect, I mean, you can't even calculate that kind of impact. And so when you are really pouring into students, they're not going through this practice phase that is really painful because they are seeing more pain-based people or they're not really finding those results. When you prepare a student, I mean, they start helping and serving families well before they even open their doors to their practice. And so, I mean, truly helping students means that we can help more families and we can bring more people through that storm. And we can help more of the people that were my mom. And now, she is such a motivator for me. I see her everywhere. And I mean, truly, students are such a joy and a pride for me because I know that's how we'll go further and how we will actually become a number one choice for families.
Yeah. And I love that. I was actually just speaking earlier today with another PX doc. And she was saying how she was so passionate about working with perfect storm kids because she herself and her daughter were both perfect storm kids. Yeah. And I said, isn't that incredible how you are perfectly positioned to help the person that you once were? Right. And so, yeah, for you as a student previously, and then now a full-fledged card-toting PX doc, you are perfectly positioned to help the person that you once were and to reach people, help people be reached faster and impact to be made. And no, we may never know the impact or the ripple effect of what the work that we're doing in this lifetime, but it is our prayer and our goal and our absolute determination that it will be felt for generations, and that will be the legacy of PX. So love that.
Yes.
So if you could speak directly into every student in PX Club right now, what would you tell them? And I know we kind of say PX Club and Club PX. We kind of say them interchangeably. Tomato, tomato,
I know.
So what would you tell them?
I mean, truly, again, back to it. School is such a short season. Stay up late. Go on to those club-wide calls. Even like spending an hour to an extra 2 hours a week, really preparing yourself, bettering yourself, hearing those PX club calls from, and into showing up to club weekly, that is truly the difference maker. When you are putting in the reps and you are really pushing yourself to grow further, that is what is truly going to translate into, one, an easier time after graduation, but two, oh my gosh, how life-giving. You're not focusing on sciatica and low back pain and DDD. Like, how draining is that? But when you can focus on how to change the trajectory of a whole family's life for generations to go, I mean, that is what you study boards for. That is why you show up. That is why you are here, why you are, let's be honest, getting all those loans. Like, that is the reason that you keep going further. And so truly, students, like, keep going, push that envelope of what you think you can do in school, because I promise you, you can do a lot more. And your impact as a student can be huge already off the bat. You don't have to wait for just when graduation comes. You can start impacting people now. Go on your social media. People look at what you're saying and they value you already. So start putting reps in. Get all the awkwardness out, especially, if you're ready to step into leadership. Mess up on our dime. Like, I hate saying that, but like, if you need to work on how to communicate, start doing it in club, because that is where you're going to work those kinks out, versus when you're sitting across from, a kid with seizures who really needs it. And you're like, oh, this is my first rep communicating. You should already have those reps going.
Absolutely. That is such an important statement that you made, Dr. Nikki, because truly, I know that students can look at, They can look at seasoned care advocates like myself or leaders, or they can look at, more experienced doctors, and they can sort of have this threat to their identity where they're like, oh, I can never, I'm never going to be that great of a communicator, or I'm never going to speak with that much certainty, or they can really struggle with seeing themselves in the ways that they need to see themselves to be successful. But what I would say is, guess what? No, you're not, for like 9 years, because that's how long I've been doing this. Okay. And it's like, and that's okay. Don't try to be somebody that you're not. Try to be the best version of yourself. And yes, practice. Because just like everything, just like your nervous system that learns through repetitions, and your speaking skills and your communication skills learn the same way. It's just by having that exposure and figuring out your inflections in your voice and your body language and your eye contact and things you want to say and things that you shouldn't say. And, just how you can get your flow to be the most effective. There's so many little nuances. And so here's my question that I have for you next, coming straight from that very topic. What is one piece of advice that you didn't have that you wish you had had as a student? Now, I'm sure we provided some good advice, but there was certainly a gap somewhere. So if you had it to do over again, what would you wish you had known?
Ooh, that's a hard, truly, because I really do feel like PX sets you up so well in so many different areas. Some days are really hard emotionally. Mm-hmm. Some days are really hard. Jamie and I, we were making a joke one day that we wanted to make a reel, and, the docs would come out with like scratches on their faces and, maybe a bruised eye. And it would be like, oh my gosh, we had the best day ever. Like, it was absolutely the most life-giving. I was in the trenches. When you're dealing with perfect storm people and kids, and when you've gone through it, it can be emotionally really hard when you see a mom who has done all the things and you can see the bags under her eye and you can see that posture of just like, I give up.
Yeah.
And then you have to go right into that storm to adjust that kid. And some of these kids are really big, and it can be more physically demanding.
Yeah.
And so, truly,
the hard makes it good though.
Yes. Oh my gosh. They have the best, truly, when you can go into those trenches and you can, what doctor does that? They all shy away. They do not go into there. They do not see their kid for who they are in front of them. And so when you can provide that and you can say, Mom, I hear you. I see that. And for you, truly, it's a difference maker. And it is one of the harder things about being in practice, but it's also, on the flip side, it's kind of one of those funky little things. It's what gives you the most life and joyful. And absolutely, let's do this again tomorrow. We're going to go deeper. We're going to learn more throughout there. So it's one of those.
I love that, Dr. Nikki. That is such an important, candid share that you said, because, I think of, it's the hard that makes it good. I say that frequently in PX training, and it's like, it's not meant to be easy. It's meant to be possible. It's meant to be worth it. And it is those things. And also choose your heart, because guess what? Nothing worth anything came easily. Now, obviously, we want to help provide as much ease in every single way and as much preparation as we possibly can, but choose your hard. Would you rather have a hard day working with kids and families, changing their family tree, one subluxation sleigh at a time? Or would you rather be in a part of this marketplace or this profession that you go in every day and absolutely hate it?
It's so true. And I remember thinking so I'm not a mom. How am I going to relate to these moms and their struggle? But those moms could really give a crap if you're a mom or not. They know that you have valuable information and that you are going to help their child. And that's all they care about. So if you're worried about, being not being a mom and stepping into that, you're making it about you and not about them. And so you have the expertise, you've done the work, step into that and the rest will come.
Yes, it will. Gosh, I love that. Okay. Fun question. What's your coffee order?
Oh my gosh. I love coffee. Coffee's my favorite. I saw this on the sheet and I have
the coffee down there.
I love coffee. I'm pretty simple. I love a latte with, raw milk or heavy cream, and that's about like I don't like a lot of, flavorings. Maybe some honey drizzled in there every once in a while, but I mean, classic, pretty straightforward.
Wow.
Hot. I don't even like it iced.
Wow. Gosh, Dr. Nikki, you're thugging it out. I did not realize that, girl.
Yeah.
You said it maybe some honey occasionally. I'm like, one thing about me is you're never going to catch me having a coffee without some stevia in it. Okay.
No, I love my coffee nice and creamy, but not too sweet. Like, I just want.
That's awesome. Oh, man. Well, this has been absolutely genius. So I want to make sure that we know how students can connect with you. So how can students or docs reach out to you if they want to connect with you, if they want to ask questions, if they want to get connected to club or to PX? What's the best path to connect with Dr. Nikki Coburn?
Yeah, so I'm going to give you two things. First, my Instagram is probably like the easiest and best ways. It's Dr.Nikki Coburn. Pretty simple. Come find me, shoot me a message, whatever you need. I'm here for y'all. Like, I just love this. Now, if you're a student, go to club_PX on the Instagram. Now, the best thing about this Instagram is we will be posting club-wide calls that happen monthly. So if you're like, I want to dig in deep, those are where you need to be, because we bring the best of the best PX speakers to that. And that is something that is totally free for you to just show up. You can find all of that, the Zoom link, all the information on there. But also, if you're getting towards, graduation and you're like, okay, where do I go intern? Where do I go associate? Is there these opportunities? You can go straight to that Instagram, and in our highlight section are opportunities for you to page through by state. And so truly Club PX is where you need to be.
Yes. Oh, so many incredible learnings, speakers, opportunities within club. Yes. And also, I love that you touched on the internship opportunity. We have internship opportunities available at PWC. We have internship opportunities available all over the U.S. I mean, some of the most incredible doctors in this entire profession have openings for internship opportunities at their practices. So don't miss out on that. Love that.
And side note, internships, they're such a short period of time. Do not let location stop you from going to learning and really fulfilling that position, because it's the most transformational thing. Go to the place that you never thought you would go to. Go because you want to learn more.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, final. What are your final words of encouragement for someone who is thinking about or on the cusp of going all in on PX? What would you say to them?
Yeah, what are you waiting for? Just go do it. I cannot begin to tell you, I've helped out with a ton of certificates, a ton of the PX certs. And I mean, Dr. Tony asked me one time, he's like, do you like your job? And I was like, it's not a job. It is a calling, and it is the most joyful thing that you can do. I mean, truly, transitioning into more of this next season, we're opening a third office because we want to reach more people, stepping into more of a leadership role. Y'all, it is the most amazing couple years that I've ever had. And, don't wait, because if you wait till after graduation, you're already behind. So really step into it. You can do it. And I mean, just go shadow, go figure out if that's where God is calling you, then everything else will fall into place after that.
Oh, I love that you shared that, Dr. Nikki. Shadowing is so crucial, isn't it? Because sometimes we're like, gosh, I feel like this is for me. I'm not really sure. I need to see what it looks like, right? And so then you go and have an incredible shadowing experience, and you're like, okay, there's big power in this room. And the power is chiropractic and being mission aligned. And I want more of whatever is in here. I am feeling this. So such huge power in shadowing. I put the absolute perfect note to end our conversation on. Thank you so much for taking this time with us. You are a gift to chiropractic. You are a gift to PX. We appreciate you so much, Dr. Nikki. Dr. Nikki Coburn, everyone, thanks for joining us for another Family Practice podcast. We appreciate you all, and we'll join you on the flip side, everyone. Thanks a lot.
Bye, y'all.
Hey, Dr. Tony here, and I wanted to say thank you for listening to the Family Practice Podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, like and subscribe to the show so you don't miss a thing. Also, if you're looking for more content from us, you can absolutely subscribe to our newsletter, watch exclusive episodes on YouTube, and dive deep into the articles and blogs on our website. All of this is linked in today's show notes. Thanks again, and we'll see you on the next episode.